Okay, so what I've done is I've asked probably some of the most difficult questions that someone's ever going to ask you to make an awkward moment, because most people will fidget to the point that they'll go, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get to. We're not going to ask questions that hard in sales. We're never going to get to that extreme. We're going to stay away from politics. We're going to stay away from religion. We're going to stay away.
So you don't ever start with like a sexual orientation or religious question when you're building rapport?
No, but
Okay.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask questions and then I'm going to shut up.
Yeah.
Sometimes to be the best communicator, you have to be the best listener. And to do that, you have to shut your pie hole. You have to be quiet. So I'm going to ask you an open-ended question, which means it's going to be a question that's going to reveal more about what you have to say about that. So I'm going to ask you an open-ended question,
Okay,
and I'm going to be quiet. What do you think about vaccines?
I think my wife is against it, and therefore I am.
Okay. Okay. So the question I ask, let me know that you extremely value the opinion of your wife, and you're going to trust her with her opinions on medications for your children because she does the diligence to look it up. I learned something personal about you.
I worry if my wife gets into cliff jumping, if I'm just going to jump off as well. That's where I'm at.
Okay, so, but you're going to take that and there's a value. But how I learned that was I asked a question that was open-ended and then I played the quiet game.
I like that.
So sometimes you have to stop and listen so you can learn where to go next.
Now, I will say what I do, and I don't know if it's maybe I'm not as quick-witted as you, or I'm kind of a grinder. And I've learned to sell, I think, in spite of my lack of ability to memorize things. But I always like to have 5 rapport-building, open-ended questions, and 5 open-ended kind of needs-finding questions that I have literally on the clipboard.
Yeah.
So when I meet with someone, they don't know what's on the clipboard. But when I meet with them, I have those questions.
Sure.
And it works pretty much every time.
Yeah, so for me, there's 2 types of openings. One is the knock your socks off statement that's going to wow them, right? So the first one is, did you know that 70% of people that try a medication and it doesn't work, that they're never going to try one again?
No.
Wow. So it's pretty important, you would think, that they get the right medication first.
Yeah.
So what are the medications that you don't like?
I don't know what my wife gives me. I was feeling pretty awesome. I hurt my ankle the other day, and I was feeling pretty awesome at work, so I don't know what she gave me there, but it's feeling pretty awesome.
So these are questions. So that was kind of a hard fact at the beginning that led you to go, man, I better listen more because. Or now the next one is the shock factor. All right, I'm just going to come in and be kind of crazy. I'm like, hey, Dr. Clark, are you wearing socks today?
I am.
Well, I'm glad you are, because what I'm about to tell you is going to knock your socks off. Kind of corny, kind of cheeseball, right? But you're going to remember what I just told you because you're like, all right, dude, where are we going?
See, that's what's going to get me. That'd get me.
Right, it's going to get them rolling. Okay, now the last.
Just sell me right now.
Okay, so if you've got that guy, let's turn the corner and we've got this guy that's grumpy guy, okay? Yeah. So what I'm going to do with that guy is I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, hey, Dr. Clark, I know you have very limited time and I want to value that time for you right now. I want to talk to you about 3 things today. I want to talk to you about my medication and why my medication is going to be good for your patients and how it's going to make you look awesome. So what I've done is I've given you 1, 2, and 3. If you can get through 1, 2, and 3, we're done today, and I'm backing out. So I clearly define what I'm here for today. Those are the ways that I'm going to open up my sales call.
I love it. I love it. Now, Dale Carnegie, the best-selling author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, a book that just is, everybody needs to read that book. If you haven't read that book, that's a book that you need to read. You need to marinate on that, like slow rotisserie style. That thing is awesome. But he says, talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. How do you get people talking about themselves? Is it through those questions? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it is. I think, once again, you when you do this and you state what you're here for, right, it allows people to say, okay, this isn't going to take very long. And then people like to hear about themselves because they want people to know that they're important. So if we ask open-ended questions about their life that they can tell us about what they've done or what they've accomplished, make them feel good. Put them on a pedestal as the teacher in the conversation, and then just sit back and be quiet.
How long did it take you to come to the realization that people like to buy from people that focus on them? That people like to buy from people who are interested in them?
Well, I hope for most people out there that after they get rejected so many times, they're going to go, okay, let's take this option and say it's not working. And so what I realized is in most of my relationships with my friends or my wife at home, if I come home and I talk to my spouse and I say, man, today was this, today was this, today was this, today this happened. Can you believe that this happened? What about her?
What about her?
I need to ask her about her day. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because your wife actually called me before our meeting today, and I'm just kidding.
You're getting personal. I knew that's where you're going with it. All right. So anyway, we'll segue, trying to emotionally rebound here from that tough information.